In one of the most obvious things that's ever been said, goals win football matches. Every team needs a goal scorer, the man who is going to come up with the goods and propel your side to victory. In a week that Sergio Aguero became Manchester City's all-time leading goal scorer, let's run through every Premier League club and look at who is their record goal scorer over the next 2 days, in order of fewest goals to the most. Part 1 begins with Brighton in 20th place, whose record scorer is Tommy Cook with 123 goals. Cook made his way from centre-back to midfield to striker and scored 8 hat-tricks for the club, ending his time with 123 goals in 209 games between 1922 and 1929. He would then move into cricket, but return to Brighton as manager in 1947, as well as serving his country in both World Wars. In 19th place is Huddersfield Town, whose record scorer is George Brown with 159 goals. Nicknamed Bomber, Brown's 159 Huddersfield goals came between 1921 and 1929, where he won 3 Division 1 titles with the club, and he wanted to play for Aston Villa, Burnley, Leeds and Darlington, as well as playing 9 times for England. In 18th place is Swansea City, whose record scorer is Ivar Allchurch with 164 goals. Back when Allchurch was banging them in for the Swans, the club had a different name, known as Swansea Town, before becoming Swansea City in 1969. Allchurch represented the club between 1947 and 1958, and then again between 1965 and 1968, going on to play non-league football until the age of 50. In 17th place is Crystal Palace, whose record scorer is Peter Simpson with 165 goals. Just finishing above Ivar Allchurch, Peter Simpson was a Scottish forward who made 195 appearances for Palace, scoring a hat-trick on his debut before firing in another 162 goals for the Eagles between 1925 and 1935. Nowadays, goal-shy Palace can only dream of a striker like Simpson. In 16th place is Stoke City, whose record scorer is John Ritchie with 176 goals. The most recent goal scorer in this list so far, Ritchie played for Stoke between 1962 and 1975, with his career coming to an end after he suffered a broken leg, and his best overall season was his first in the top flight, scoring 30 goals in all competitions in the 1963-64 season, and he also won the League Cup with the Potters in 1972. In 15th place is Manchester City, whose record scorer is Sergio Aguero with 178 goals. The Argentinian striker surpassed Eric Brook with his goal against Napoli in the Champions League, and it won't be long before he adds to his tally and extends his lead at the top of the Man City goalscorer charts. But no matter how long he plays for, Aguero will never score a goal more iconic than his title winner against Queen's Park Rangers in 2012. In 14th place is Watford, whose record scorer is Luther Blissett with 186 goals. 503 appearances across 3 spells for the Hornets, Luther Blissett's goals helped take Watford from the 4th tier to the 1st Division, as well as earning him a move to AC Milan in 1983 that signalled the end of his first spell with Watford. Born in Jamaica, Blissett also represented England 14 times, scoring 3 goals. In 13th place is Burnley, whose record scorer is George Beale with 187 goals. No relation to Ian Beale, mainly because it's spelled different and he's just a TV character, George Beale made almost 400 appearances for the Clarets between 1923 and 1932, but almost became a Manchester United player after impressing for Blackpool in the wartime leagues, earning himself a trial with the Red Devils. Instead, Beale would go on to make history with Burnley. In 12th place is Newcastle United, whose record scorer is Alan Shearer with 206 goals. The top scorer in Premier League history, as long as Harry Kane stays out of his way, Shearer also became his boyhood club's top scorer in February 2006 with his 201st Newcastle goal against Portsmouth, adding another 5 to his tally before injury ended his career, with his final goal coming from the spot in a Tyne-Wear derby victory over rival Sunderland. And to end part 1, in 11th place is Chelsea, whose record scorer is Frank Lampard with 211 goals. A Chelsea legend, Lampard is the greatest scoring midfielder in Premier League history, shown by the fact he was able to become Chelsea's all-time leading goal scorer without even being a striker. Having spent 13 years at Stamford Bridge, the history-making goal came away to Aston Villa in 2013 in a game where he equalled and surpassed Bobby Tamling's record with a brace. So that's the end of part 1 as we count down every Premier League club's top scorer. Join us tomorrow for part 2 where we'll continue to run down the final 10 teams. Make sure to let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching and don't forget to like, share and subscribe.